The critical number could be whatever number is going to make your dream a reality. So it could be a membership number, like how many people do you want to recruit in the next year? It could be your EBITDA. What is that critical number that you want that EBITDA to be so that you can get a 3, 5, 7, 10, 12x on your company? Is it a certain number of sales that you need? So to be part of certain organizations or certain roundtables or groups or forums, you may need $1 million to $1.5 million in sales. Or, to be part of our Women Who Mastermind, you need to be doing 6 figures. So what is that number that you need to achieve? Hello and welcome to the Stroke It podcast. I'm Jenny Townsend, your host. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited for you to be inspired to live your life fully, to take ownership of your time, your schedule, and your life, but most importantly, learn and grow and develop personally and professionally. Myself and others are going to share life lessons that we've learned through leadership, through heartache, through pain, through struggles, and we'll be sharing some success stories with you as well. Super eager for you to dive in, learn, and grow. And once again, just take ownership of your life today. Hello and happy new year. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jenny Townsend, your host. Hopefully you had the chance to listen to last week's podcast featuring Matt O'Neill. It was all about the mood revolution, and I really, really enjoyed having him on the podcast, and it was super amazing. We had a really great conversation. If you haven't had a chance, definitely check that out. 2025 has been a very interesting year. I keep joking around that 2024 was the pregame. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. It could just because I'm just overly exhausted and have had so many things happen in the last probably week since the new year has kicked off. Yeah, it's been really interesting and fun. First of all, we lost my mother-in-law, which is super sad and upsetting. That has been a long battle with cancer, and we have spent the last like 3 or 4 months like fighting with her, fighting for her, and then fighting with doctors. And anyways, long story short, she decided to be at peace with her destiny, and so we had to say goodbye to her. And we spent the whole holiday um, and New Year's between hospital and hospice. So that's how we kicked off the new year. And then most recently, um, many of you guys don't know this, but my husband and I own a laundromat. And we have someone that was working for us part time and found out that they got arrested because they were stealing credit cards at another job. We do not take credit cards. We do not take anything but cash payments, and that is all through change machine. So she was not handling any of our money, but she did get arrested. So that's fun because now we are back to working there, and we were just there last night cleaning and doing all the things. So I actually enjoy it. I love talking with the customers, and it requires a lot of patience because of just the different walks of life that are coming in there, the demographics, but also because we are cash only, a lot of people get frustrated because we don't have an ATM and they don't have cash and they want to use credit cards. And anyways, it's just super fun at times. So yeah, we had that. I've had that happen since the new year. And then also I had a team member go completely berserk on me, the first time in company history. And not only did they want to make sure that they knew how angry I was, they let that all go on Slack, which was super interesting. Like I said, I've never had this happen before. And this was a relatively new hire and one that shortly after hiring, I realized I might have to um, have her leave. And I just thought it was me. Like, okay, maybe I'm just a challenge to work with, and like maybe it's going to take her more time to buy in. And I was doing a lot of development November and December with our team. So we do a lot of coffee and conversation. So it's about picking a word, developing your why, your vision goal, your vision board, all these things. And I'd always want this person to come and join us and never did. And come to find out, she thought it was a bunch of BS and that I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm trying to help my people and they don't need help. So, anyways, that has been fun. I had to navigate that for the first time and I learned a lot of lessons. Hire slow, fire fast. Be careful what you say to certain team members as well. And if they are not connected to your vision and they're not buying in and they're not joining all of the culture enhancements that you're putting together, they definitely are not the right person. So, yeah, so it's been a fun week to 2 weeks in my world. Anyways, but you know what? Today we organized the gym and we'll be getting back into the gym and working out tomorrow. And I'm happy to report that I went and played tennis on Friday and Saturday. So that was super positive and fun as well. One of the things that I wanted to get back into doing was playing tennis and having that outlet of activity and that community and having some fun as well. I spent a better half of 2024 just working my ass off. So, looking forward to still working my ass off, but also having fun while doing it, creating that balance and making sure I'm growing personally as well as professionally. So that's just a sneak peek of what's been going on with me. And once again, I do hope that your 2025 has kicked off amazing. Every day is completely different, and I'm just taking it day by day, and I want to encourage you to do that. Something I did recently start, well, actually just yesterday, is the book by Mel Robbins, Let Them. I actually got it on Audible. If you have not heard about the Let Them theory, I want to encourage you to look that up, follow her on Instagram, get her book by all means. And it's a very interesting philosophy. And a lot of the ways that her book is set up is similar actually to Stroke It, where it's a lot about you and then it's all about all the other people. And actually, what's interesting is when I was thinking about renaming my book, maybe if you follow me on social, you might have seen that before I released the book that I was considering renaming it. And one of the people that came to me, they're like, "Oh, what about Stroke'em, like EM?" And I was like, "Oh, I just really don't really like it, stroke it, like, has just been what I've always said." But then when I started reading or listening to this book, Let Them, I was like, I should have named my book Stroke Them. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, and I did the name that I had always thought about, so no going back. But it is amazing concept, and it is about releasing control. It's allowing people to act the way they're going to act with no expectations of changing them. And I believe it's going to be life-changing for myself or my husband. We're going to be sharing this book with a couple other people that we believe could benefit from it as well. And I would highly recommend that, along with Matt O'Neill's book, The Good Mood Revolution. I gave that to one of my team members just last week. Interesting enough, the person that blasted me, that told me I don't care about my people, had called me about an employee, and I made an appointment with them to talk to them if they needed anything and if they needed some funds for counseling. And then I gave them that book. So it's a really great book, and I want to encourage everyone to check that out. He has a podcast too. Okay, so today's quickie is all about the critical number. So that's really what I want to get to today and break that down. The critical number could be certain things. I learned about it while I was in Texas in October at a conference with one of my coaches, Howard Partridge. If you don't know him, look him up. He is all about building your business to be efficient, to be profitable, and to create certain systems in place to where every single person in your organization has a role, and the CEO can basically be working on the business or other while all of these key players are running your company efficiently in the way that you want it ran as well. So anyways, so check Howard out. We'll be going to his conference just in a few weeks in January, so I'm super excited to go there. But one of his speakers, which I should have his name, I'm drawing a name on his book, on his name. Anyways, he talks about the critical number and how important that is. Are you looking to enhance your relationship with yourself? If so, get the Stroke It Guide. My book is available on Amazon and on my website. Not only is my book going to help you with your personal journey with yourself, but it's also going to help you with the relationships of other stakeholders in your life. For instance, your spouse or partner, your employer, your employees, your friends, or your family members. And of course, because the title, there is a chapter for your pleasure, which is the last one, in the bedroom. The book offers lots of great tools and resources. There's a lot of great downloads, and it features many of my podcast guests, and they have thousands of downloads and resources that are worth a lot of money. So you're going to want to get my book today. You can buy that on Amazon or on my website, and you can change and take ownership of your life today with one simple click. So The critical number could be whatever number is going to make your dream a reality. So it could be a membership number, like how many people do you want to recruit in the next year? It could be your EBITDA. What is that critical number that you want that EBITDA to be so that you can get a 3, 5, 7, 10, 12x on your company? Is it a certain number of sales that you need? So to be part of certain organizations or certain roundtables or groups or forums, you may need $1 million to $1.5 million in sales. Or, to be part of our Women Who Mastermind, you need to be doing 6 figures. So what is that number that you need to achieve? It could be also, how many pounds do you want to lose this year? How many pounds do you want to gain? Maybe it's a lifting goal. Like, what's that number? How many clients impacted as well? There is a variety of different numbers. And I'm sure if you're like a family, a mom, maybe there's a certain number that you want the kids to have as far as like a testing or a grade, or you want them to do so many volunteer hours in the upcoming year. So, whatever that critical number is, really review that, determine that, and share it. Sharing the critical number is just as much as important as having that critical number. So, I'll give you an example for my company. So we have a goal of reaching 500 members this year. We've always done between like three, not always, every year increases. And this past year was the first year it ever decreased. But we had as much as like 440 members last year. And the goal is to get to 500. We need to get to 500 because, first and foremost, we have double the rent. And I want to be able to pay our team members more. It's super, super important for me to be able to pay our team members more. We do wage or price increases, which allows them to earn, a little bit more every year. But I really want to make it a substantial jump in their lifestyle and with their investments or with whatever they're trying to achieve in the new year. So, in order to do that, we have to reach a certain number to fund that. I took a pay cut this past year. I would like to be put back on payroll this year. And so, in order to make all of these impacts, we need to get to that 500 number. And then once we get past that, then we'll pick another 600 number. 600 will probably be the number. And then how is that going to impact my team? So, sharing that number with your team is super important so they understand the impact directly to them, the win for them. And then that also goes into how are they going to operate within the organization to help you get to that number. We are in child-based business. We are very much service-based. So when my team members are considering that number, it's basically from the moment someone calls, how someone is answering that telephone, the tone of their voice, they're welcoming, are they smiling on the other end? How are they sharing the mission of our company? Are they sharing the community? All of those things go into the first impression. Then, when that person comes in for their trial lesson or their first lesson, how are they greeted? How's the tour? How are the staff greeting them, smiling, engaging with them while we're on the tour? My music lounge assistants. So, those are going to be my teenagers that are doing our apprenticeship program. How are they engaging with the clients and with the kids? Are they making them feel safe? Are they making them feel welcome? Are they introducing them to other people? Are they inspiring these young little ones? And then the teachers, when they go into the studio, are they getting the value that they're paying for? Are they progressing? Are they having fun? Are they learning? And then the concerts. So when we get to the concert, is the sound quality great? Is the concert running smoothly? Are we able to support those individuals? How are we impacting those families? Are we capturing those moments? So there's so many things that go into basically as someone's experience at organization, literally from the 13-year-old that's working in the music lounge to me, the highest person in our company, along with our teachers and along with our sound guy and our facilities manager and all those things. So if they understand that they are important and their role matters, they're going to have a little bit more buy-in and they're going to understand why they need to do all those things, not just so we can get to 500, but why we're doing it. And then in the end, they're all going to get raises and they're all going to be impacted by this effort. And so, once again, we'll just be all working together in tandem, which I think is super fun, great, and obviously it's beneficial. So sharing with them. So when it comes to the impact, that impact is going to impact them financially, but it's also going to impact them as far as I feel like mentally and emotionally and spiritually. They're going to feel happier. They're going to be having more of an impact as well. And I think outlining that is super important just as much as picking the critical number and sharing. So, what are they going to do with that wage increase? How is that going to enhance their life for my people that are working for us? Is that going to allow them to book the dream trip that they always wanted to go on? Is that going to allow them to have more savings for a down payment for a house they've always wanted to buy? For those that are also in service-based businesses, maybe your goal is to impact, you know, 350 clients this year. What is that impact going to do for your clients and how is that going to make you feel? It also could be maybe you want to donate a certain amount of dollars this upcoming year. What is that going to do for the organization or the people that the organization serves? So, once again, there's so much greatness that can come out of this simple little exercise. And it will also foster a lot of, I don't know, just goodness, I think, within an organization or within your home or within any other aspect that this critical number has an impact on. So that's going to be really just the quickie today. I just wanted to get on and share that. I'm going to be sprinkling a little bit of information I've been learning from my coaches. And if you don't have a coach, I want to highly recommend you get a coach or a mentor. Depending on what you're doing is going to really depend on that type of coach. So for me, I'm very much focused as far as the business getting to a certain number this year. I'm not only going to hit 500 members, I want to have a total of 40 team members that are part of our team. And that is obviously we're going to need those team members because we're going to be increasing our member count. But I really want to make sure our studio is completely full and all of our people are totally engaged as well. And I really want to bring in some fresh new energy and expertise. So the next 6 hires that I will be bringing in are going to be slightly different than the previous that I brought into the company. We did just have 5 people start last Monday, which is super exciting. So we've got about 6 more hires to go between now and the end of the year to get us to that 40 mark. Another critical number that I have is 7,500. So I want to have 7,500 podcast downloads by the end of 2025. We just hit 5,000. So thank you to everybody that's been listening. That 7,500 is going to allow us to impact more people. In order to get that, we are going to be selecting a couple different types of guests that we have had in the past. And I may be switching up the show conversation a little bit. So the past show has always been focused on personal and professional development with individuals sharing some struggles and then their success or their stories. And we're going to continue having those conversations about how we interact with other people in our life and how we enhance those relationships. But I'm going to have some conversations that are specifically about one topic or one book and all of the transformations that come from that book. Similar to Matt O'Neill's conversation. That was a really organic conversation. And I felt like all the points he had to make were super impactful. And I don't want to miss out on all that greatness as well in the future. So I'm looking forward to getting 7,500 downloads. So please consider forwarding this to some of your friends and family members that you think could benefit from the podcast. Once again, a lot of my quickies are going to be business, but a lot of personal development too. And I'll probably be celebrating some really great things in the coming weeks. I did want to share on a high note that I just was the speaker sponsor for the CEO Forum, and that was inspired probably 8 years ago. I went to my first CEO Forum breakfast with my friend Molly Jackson, and she was the speaker sponsor. And I remember sitting there watching her, and I was surrounded by these amazing CEOs, movers and shakers, and so much wisdom, so much experience in that room. And I said, I'm going to be that one day. And just this past January, last week, I was able to present our first speaker of 2025. And it felt really great to have achieved that milestone and that dream that I had. So anything can happen with the right focus, with the right discipline. And I couldn't have done it if it wouldn't have been for my mentors and coaches. So I definitely want to encourage you to get a coach. whether it's business or whether it's personal. If you're navigating divorce or relationships and things like that, I had a wonderful lady. Her name was Nanette, and she does that. So if you want to Google her on my podcast, that would be a great listen for you. And there's a lot of great personal development. SCORE mentors are completely free and they're available all over the country. So I would encourage you to reach out to them. I mentor some people. I have fabulous mentors. So if you have any questions or need any intake or any ideas, definitely reach out to me as well. So want to wish you an amazing 2025. Once again, consider your critical number, write that number down, develop the impact and the why that goes with that critical number, share that with your team, and also share the win that's in it for them as well. And if it's not your team, maybe it's your family. And yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys reaching that number and having an amazing 2025. I'm going to be cheering for you and look forward to having you on the next podcast. I've got some amazing guests that are coming up. If you feel that you're a great fit, you have an amazing story to share, and you have been transformed in some capacity and have some great life lessons to share, I want to encourage you to reach out. Kaylee and I are filling up the schedule right now, and we look forward to having an amazing third season of the Stroke It podcast. Wishing you a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Stroke It podcast. I hope you were inspired. I hope you're willing and ready to take some action. I want to encourage you to consider 5 people that could benefit from today's podcast. Super simple to share this episode. You never know who could benefit from hearing this podcast and how you could inspire them to create the change in the life that they're wanting. Cheers, and thank you so much for tuning in. Also, consider giving a review.